this may sound a bit selfish, but I do want more interactivity with some tubers. Like, I know they're busy. I know they have massive crowds. I just don't want to feel like part of a hive mind community. I don't think a lot of VTubers do well. I think so. I'm gonna try to answer this from the like empathy for both sides of this this thought, because like I totally understand where you're coming from. I think when you have a huge community, it's really hard to make sure that you don't play favorites, because I've felt this way too, because like I feel like if you're interacting a lot and you have people that really interact, like chat a lot, are really active in the community, I really want to like give them attention. Right? Like I want to like make sure that people who show up for me, interact with me, like I want to make sure that they feel like they've like had an interaction that they can go away with a smile on their face from me, right? But I do think that like when you have a large community like that, you have to be really careful not to give special treatment to people, regardless of like if they're an oiler or they like show up a lot, like because it can make people like freak out and they're like, oh, you give this guy special treatment, like what the heck? And it's like, it really sucks, because I think also for your own personal safety, you kind of can't give people a lot of like special treatment. But on the flip side, like for me, I know that I would still want to like have that one-on-one connection with my chat in ways I can, you know? So I think like when you become larger, you have to make sure you're not so accessible that people feel entitled to your time, because you're doing so much behind the scenes and you have so many people who want so much from you. But at the same time, you still want to have that human connection with the people that like watch you. So it's like a really crappy situation where like, I think the attention gets divided evenly, or as evenly as the streamer can. But there's just so many people. There's so many people who like want something from you that like you can only give so much to every person, you know? I mean, people are that way with even smaller streamers. Like a VTuber I mod for was in a voice chat, and a chatter who'd been around for maybe a month got so angry about not being able to join into that they rage quit the community. Well, yeah, because you have to make sure you're not capitulating to those people, right? Like to give you a bit of a look behind the curtain, I act a certain way with you guys so we don't attract those kinds of people. There's a reason why I don't have, like, obviously you guys are amazing. There's a reason why I don't allow viewers in voice chats. And that is a huge reason why I don't do that, right? And I think when you become large enough, you have to keep putting those barriers up for people to like not crash out at you, you know, because they're like, why does this person get to go in and I don't? And like maybe the person who's on stream is like a day one viewer and has been around for forever, but not everybody who's in the stream has that context. So they flip the fuck out and they're like, oh, why am I not getting special treatment like this guy, you know? And it just sucks for everybody, you know, because one bad apple ruins it for everybody, basically. I like contributing something to the stream, so I tend to not go for many big name VTubers with massive viewers. I mean, at least for me, like I can say, I would like to think like regardless of how much I grow, I will still recognize names in chat, you know? If you've become a part of the community, you know, like there are people who have like showed up in 2 streams and they come back and they're like, streamer, do you remember me? And I'm like, no. You were in 2 streams like 6 months ago. Like, I don't remember you. But like, if you show up even like once a week and I see your name and you're like, even if you just like my tweets, like I'll remember you, you know? A lot of the conversation is like, oh, big streamers don't care. But like, no, they definitely see it if you constantly show up for them, you know? Like, I remember people's Twitter profile pictures. Oh, I think you did an amazing job building a good community, Barry. I think that's one of the most overlooked parts of most VTuber setups. I appreciate that. I try, honestly, like, I don't want to be like, oh, no, I didn't, like, you guys are, you know, like, I didn't do anything. But, like, there's a lot of, like, behind the scenes, like, thought and thinking with me and the mods. I've learned a lot over the years of, like, what makes a high-quality viewer, so to speak. And I know that, like, I say this a lot, but I think that, like, like having a welcoming chat experience is also an aspect in like growing as a content creator, because like I've been in VTubers chats where like I read chat and I'm like, fuck that. Like I am not saying anything, like no. Or like the chat is so annoying I don't even want to be in the stream. So it makes me happy that you've seen that effort, because there is a lot of thought that goes into that for sure. She read my message during her Twitch stream, so I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious. I mean, there are people who are like deluded though. Like there are people who like, so going back to what like what I was saying about like the special treatment thing, there are people who think that like are so mentally ill, they think if their streamer, like especially a female streamer, read their chat message that they're dating, and they're sending them secret like messages through the way that they interact with them on the stream. So like there's a lot of things you have to think about when it comes to interacting with people. Like you just never know. You really just never know. And if somebody may come across as like disconnected from the community because maybe they've had stalkers. Yeah, it's me. Bear only talks to me during streams and it's great. Now I remember like, I think Maya posted I saw a clip of Maya talking about like her experience with the stalker, and it was like this guy, he thought that she was like sending him secret messages through the way that she interacted with her chat, and he would like email her all this crazy shit, and he like showed up at her house, and it like she had the police involved and this whole thing, and it was like a multiple year thing, and he like moved to be close to her. Like it is like you just never ever know. I would highly recommend you guys like watch that video and learn about her experience, because I think most large female streamers have a stalker experience. So there's a huge reason why, especially like and obviously anybody can have a stalker, but we are all smart enough to know that this mainly happens to women. Like obviously it can happen to men and anybody, but female streamers are very, very, very commonly stalked. So it's very important, like I would say, to maybe like if you see a clip about them talking about it, like I would really recommend you watch it, so it gives you some more information on like how they carry themselves online. Now, joking can be really tough. People can be crazy, especially in the indie space where there's like more direct interaction and some people just try to push bounds. Well, there's also a lot of the like the mindset of a small streamer being like, oh, but if I ban this guy, like if you have 10 average viewers, right? And you ban somebody who's a regular in your stream that's like pushing your boundaries, that's a 10% viewer decrease. Or you're a 5 viewer streamer and you have a viewer that shows up to every single stream and they're trying to manipulate you because they're like, they show up to your stream and they maybe have donated subs. And like, if you ban that guy, that's a 1/5 of your average viewership. So it's really important, I think, especially if you're like a newer streamer or even just a chatter, to like understand the weird social dynamics that are at play when it comes to like smaller streamers. I was watching a clip recently, actually. I think it was a Giga clip, possibly, where, no, it was an Ellie clip, an Ellie Minibot clip, where she was talking about how like you have this really, there's like tiers, like viewership tiers of streamers, and like how entitled people feel to your time. She was saying how like at 5-10, everybody feels like they can access you. And at 50 people, like 50-ish, people feel like they can like, you know, they can DM you and talk to you because like you only have 50 average viewers. You hit 100 and that starts to drop off. 500, you get a little bit more weird interaction because you're not quite a big streamer at 1,000 yet, but people still think that since you're at around 500, they can still like bug you for your time, you know? And then once you hit 1,000, like you're quite like, you're still pretty accessible compared to like a 5K viewer streamer, but like nobody DMs you because they're too scared. And I found that really interesting because I think that there's like a weird like social dynamic when it comes to like creators' numbers and like perceived access to them. Also, I'm sorry if you hear Cooper, he's barking at Mama Bear. I think it's if you are interested in being a streamer or even like are an avid Twitch user or like somebody who watches a lot of streamers, I would very much recommend you, I don't want to say, it's not like research, but like I would say like just be aware of like the social dynamics because they're very weird. Like streaming as a whole like creates very weird social dynamics, and like it is just strange. I don't know. I've done a lot of thinking about like how what the best way is to navigate that, you know?